It's no secret when it comes to the NBA media, there are tons and tons of LeBron James fanboys. And looking on YouTube, you have a lot of pro-LeBron James fans, and one guy I found recently takes the cake as the biggest LeBron disciple. This guy's name is Chilltown, and he's a member of the Player's Choice podcast. And today, once again, we're listening to one of their debates and react to it, looking at 2018 LeBron James, and if Michael Jordan with that same roster could have done what he did that postseason.
Does MJ do better on the 2018 Cavs than Bron?
And no, MJ does not do better on
MJ does better than LeBron and everything.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. No way.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, he doesn't.
Don't do that. That's the reason why they named the MVP award after Michael Jordan today.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you straight like this, bro. He does everything LeBron James did, MJ does better.
I'm not fighting that part because Jay was all of those things that you say. However, what you can't discount is 2018 James was different than anybody.
So stopping him right there, looking at 2018 LeBron James, of course, he had a great postseason run, averaging 34 points, 9 boards, 9 assists on 54, 34, and 75 splits. He was 34 years old and playing nearly 42 minutes a game, the most in the playoffs. And even more impressive, he had 12 30-point games, 7 40-point games, and 1 51-point game in the NBA Finals. And when it came to Game 7s, in this playoff run, averaged 40 in 2 collectively. And the icing on the cake, not once but twice, he had buzzer-beating jump shots to beat teams at home. Individually speaking for LeBron James, this is one of, if not the best runs of his entire career. But saying he was built different and using buzzwords like that, I'm not a big fan of that, and I'd rather look at the data and the overall facts. As looking at Michael Jordan, I could really easily argue a couple of his playoff runs are definitely better than 2018 LeBron James. Looking at 92, his second championship run, in those playoffs, he averaged 34.5 points per game, the highest in the playoffs, 6.2 boards, 5.8 assists on impressive 50, 39, and 86 splits. He had 16 games of 30 plus points, the most in a playoff run ever, 4 games of 40 plus points, and 1 game of scoring 56. And in totality, he had 759 points, the most ever in a playoff run. And even looking more in depth, versus Miami in the first round, he averaged 45 points per game, the highest ever in a single series. And versus the Knicks in round 2, in a pivotal Game 7, he had 42 points, a game high. And looking at the NBA Finals, the biggest stage, versus a very good Portland team, he averaged 35.8 points per game on 53, 43, and 89 splits. He had the iconic shrug game where he had 6 threes. In Game 5 tied 2-2 in Portland, he dropped 46, and in Game 6 at home had 33 points and the game-winning free throws. Comparing this Jordan run to LeBron James in 2018, not only did Jordan win the championship, but in the finals, he wasn't swept and was clutched numerous times. One other thing I do have to add in, 2018 LeBron James in the playoffs was not a good defender, as when it came to his defensive rating, out of 129 qualifiers, he ranked 100th that postseason. Even Jordan the following year, 93, once again I would say was better than 2018 LeBron James, as Jordan in the playoffs averaged 35.1 points per game, highest that season, and the highest ever in a championship run, 6.7 boards, 6.0 assists, 2.1 steals on 48, 39, and 81 splits. He had 13 games of 30 plus points, the 9th most in NBA history, 6 games of 40 plus points, the 4th most, and 2 games cracking 50, the most in a single playoff run. And looking at the NBA Finals, once again, in comparison to LeBron in 2018, Jordan was light years better, averaging 41 points per game, the highest in finals history, and in games 2 through 5, cracked 40 points every game, the longest streak in playoff history, as well as finals history. And one thing I do want to make very clear, looking at Jordan's East in the 90s, specifically 93, compared to LeBron in 2018, it's night and day. As Jordan en route to the finals, played the 43-win Hawks, who had Dominique Wilkins, an All-Star, Kevin Willis, who was an All-Star in 92, Mookie Blaylock, an All-Defensive Player, and an All-Star in 94. In the second round, the 54-28 Cavs, who had Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, and Larry Nance, all All-Stars, and the conference finals, Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, a one-time All-Star, and great role players. Compared to LeBron's 2018 run, that Eastern Conference is 10 times better. The overall totality of 93 Jordan, even 92, taking into account championships, defensive play, how good he was in the finals, and also competition, those runs clear 2018 LeBron.
That 2018 team, in the summer of 2017, James gets 7 new guys on his crew. And this team is garbage. So bad that James says, quote, I don't think we should be on TV anymore. So the trade deadline comes up and he gets 5 new guys. So that's 12 new guys in a span of 6 months.
But who did they get?
And he still, I'm going to get into that. And he still takes that team to the NBA Finals.
Right.
So you telling me that Jordan is getting a roster flipped twice in 6 months and he's taking that crew to the NBA Finals.
So, stopping him right there, he made some solid points, but his overall history of the 2018 season is kinda murky, as what I would call this is revisionist history 101. As in the moment when Cleveland made those trades, they were lauded and praised for quote-unquote fleecing Danny Ainge. And when the dust finally settled, Cleveland once again was projected to make the NBA Finals and win the East. And calling this team garbage, while they weren't a great team in hindsight, I wouldn't say they're awful and complete trash. As at one point, they were 24-8, had the best record in the East, won 13 straight games, including 18 of 19. The overall narrative at this point was LeBron James had his deepest team ever. He had vets, he had Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and a host of guys with playoff experience who could take him deep in the playoffs. Even looking at the post-trade roster, while they weren't great, LeBron after those trades said, quote, we've got an effing squad now. The hypocrisy of LeBron James fans never ceases to amaze me, as when it comes to Cleveland, all you ever hear is the GMs never made moves for LeBron. But when they finally do make big-time shakeups, big-time deals, then they get mad that their roster changed too much. And please, let's not be naive. LeBron back in 2018, he 100% was playing pseudo-GM and had a lot to say in that roster being blown up. And I do want to add some more context. Looking at the NBA playoffs, once again, this Cleveland team heading into the postseason was predicted to win the East. As according to ESPN metrics, they had an overwhelming 62% chance to win the conference. And going round by round, looking at their 21 experts in the first round versus Indiana, all 21 of them picked the Cavaliers to win. In the second round, it was a little more balanced, as they had 12 analysts pick the Cavaliers. In the conference finals, they had an overwhelming 18-21 pick the Cavs to beat the Celtics. Now, while ESPN isn't exact science, I think those picks right there give a pretty good insight into what people thought at the time and not in hindsight. And going full circle with my point, looking back at LeBron James and that 2018 roster, many forget they were hamstrung in large part due to LeBron James. As after the 2016 finals, LeBron James was very adamant the Cavaliers should re-sign those guys to pretty big deals. And with Dan Gilbert management being so scared of LeBron leaving, of course they made those signings at LeBron's request. My overall point being, looking at Jordan, I don't think ever he would go to Jerry Krause and request a player, an all-star, or request to leave. As even Krause himself said, Jordan not once came to him and asked for other players.
To Ticket's point, I hear what you're saying. If MJ was on that team, would he have made Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, George Hill, all those guys better, maybe toughen them up, maybe have pushed them harder. Maybe. There's no way to know for sure.
He would have took it another level.
Would he have averaged 8 rebounds and 10 assists? No. They would have had to get that from somewhere else.
Come on, man. That's not true.
No,
He would have put his numbers on steroids in his era.
Now, stopping right there, that one guy made some very, very solid points. As looking at 2018 LeBron James, he was 34-99 and consistently great offensively the entire playoff run. My only problem with this statement being, you're ignoring defense and one side of the basketball. As when it comes to 90s Jordan, even late 80s Jordan, defensively compared to 2018 LeBron, it's not even close. As numerous times in that playoff run, LeBron James wouldn't get back on defense, he was lackadaisical, and most times was playing free safety in the paint and largely floating around the rim. Now, looking at Jordan's career, and for a playoff run where he proved he could be his team's best passer, best scorer, even defender, and lead them deep, I would look at 1989. As in that playoff run, he averaged 34.8 points, 7.6 assists, 7.0 boards, 2.5 steals on 51% shooting. He had no All-Star teammates, All-NBA teammates, or any players with championship experience. And that Bulls team in Chicago, unlike the Cavaliers in 2018, were not the favorite to win the conference. And actually, they were the 6th seed and not projected to make it past the first round. As in the first round, they played a stacked Cavaliers team that won 57 games. Now Jordan in that series averaged 39.8 points, scored 44, 50, and 44 over the last 3 games, and in Game 5 had the game-winning buzzer beater facing elimination. In the second round versus the Knicks, who were the 3 seed, he averaged 36, 10, and 9, and had 3 40-point games, en route to Chicago, winning that series in 6 games. And last but not least, versus the Super Team Pistons, who won 63 games, Jordan in that series averaged 29.7 points, had a game-winning buzzer beater in Game 3, and handed Detroit their only 2 losses of the postseason. So, in summary for Jordan right there, what you have is a great overall run when it comes to passing, scoring, and defense. He was clutch numerous times, played much better competition, and once and for all proved he could lead a team deep in the playoffs with little or no all-star help.
So you're putting Michael Jordan, who was the mentally toughest dude, am I right, Fluent? He was the mentally toughest dude against some of the mentally weakest dudes. You put him against a dude like Kevin Durant, mentally weak. Mike would have ate his ass up. No homo.
It's Kevin Durant and Steph Curry on the same team.
Mike, hold on. Fluent know this. Mike would have destroyed KD for the game. He'd have went and put something on KD brain before the game that would have completely took KD out of that game.
Now, stopping that guy right there, when it comes to Michael Jordan, if you put him on the 2018 Cavaliers, I do not think he's beating the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. Is he getting swept? Maybe, maybe not. He might get 1 game, but I do not think he's winning that series. The overall point I am making is that Jordan in the 2018 East on LeBron's Cavaliers 100% could have made it out. So with that being said, looking at Jordan in 89, 91, 92, even 93, I think all those runs prove on the 2018 Cavs he could have 100% ran that East and made the finals. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.